So provided her remarks remotely. So I'm going to pull up her remarks. So give me a few seconds while I pull that up and share my screen. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I got to reshare. Stop. Forgot to hit the check mark on the share sound. Hang on. Okay, now.
Hey y'all, happy December. I'm really sorry I can't be there with you today, but I am traveling. I did want to, however, take an opportunity to give you a couple of updates from the Division of Human Resources and Equal Opportunity and Compliance before I head out the door. I got to tell you, it's really weird to be staring at a computer and only seeing my own head talking back to me. So this is going to be weird for me and for you. I have a bunch of notes. I will try to get you all the information you need, but please know that I wish I were able to be there with you in person, and I trust that you will all celebrate after your meeting with your social appropriately. Couple of big updates. Many of you have likely seen that we have a couple of new leave programs available. The first one is the new bereavement leave. This is something that applies to all leave earning employees. It does provide two types of leave. One is for the death of an immediate family member. The other is for a death of a coworker, which we hope we don't have many of. The program is retroactive to September 27th of 2024, though we have until March 1 to complete our implementation. We're working through the details on that. OHR is putting together a website that puts all of the details together, provides some administrative guidance as well, and making sure we're taking care of all the TIM codes. There will be more information on this to come. Some more details will be provided in this upcoming WorkWell newsletter, which you'll get in the coming days. But also we'll make sure you get access to those websites as they become available. The second type of leave is far more complicated and far more confusing, and I'm not going to do it justice here. So as many of you know, the system office recently changed the policy for how EHRA employees will earn vacation leave. And this new policy goes into effect as of January 1. The new program is called personal leave, which is terribly confusing. Current EHRA employees receive annual leave. Employees hired after January 1 will receive personal leave. There are a whole bunch of if-thens. If you're currently an SHRA employee and you convert to EHRA, you will be given the opportunity to opt in, but if you're currently an SHRA employee and you transfer into a new EHRA employee, you'll be required to do personal leave. There's a whole bunch of that. I'm not going to go through it all here. Much like with bereavement leave, we're creating a website. We're going to work through all the details, and there will be more information available to you in the December issue of WorkWell. The key here is that it becomes effective as of January 1. All employees who are EHRA currently will have the opportunity, should they wish, to opt in to the new personal leave program, and we'll provide more information about that likely in February. Again, more information on the website and at WorkWell. More importantly, it's December, and if you're anything like me, you're counting down the days until we hit winter break. Just a reminder that the university is closed December 25th through January 1st. Some of those are the winter holiday break dates. One of those is a university closed day or an optional work day, which means you are required, if you take that entire time off, to take at least one, or to take one, submit leave for at least one day. And then we are also, of course, off on New Year's Day. If you choose to work during any of the university closed days, you need to have supervisor approval and work through with your management chain what that work would look like and how you do it. Otherwise, for those of you who are lucky enough to be able to take the whole time off, I hope you enjoy all of the food and fun or rest that you can get, and that we can all come back healthy and hopeful and excited for a 2025. 2025, a great year in 2025. Sorry about that. There is information on our website if you have more questions about the holiday leave or about the either the holiday and holiday pay policy or the personal observance leave should you need it. Couple of other changes. Reminder that as of January 1, we moved to Aetna as the third-party provider for the state health plan. This, I know Joe has come to talk to this group. This is not a change to your coverage. The state health plan is indeed a self-funded plan directed by the state treasurer's office. This is simply a change in the third-party administrator. It will not result in any changes to your copays or your deductibles for 2025, but indeed it will offer a few new things that we've not seen previously. In particular, there will be a teledoc platform for virtual visits. So there will be some providers who are willing to do online visits, much like I'm having a conversation with you, though there would be someone that you could see on the other end. There will also be a 24/7 Ask a Nurse phone line available as part of the new transition to Aetna, as well as a concierge phone service that we will be available for those with some serious conditions. At or around New Year's time, you will likely receive, or you will receive, a new health insurance ID card. And if you're interested in more information about the transition to Aetna, we encourage you to look at the North Carolina State Health Plan website. Related to the new year and to your health insurance, just a reminder that your December paycheck actually pulls out the premiums for your January coverage. So this is a reminder to you to check your pay stubs to make sure that the healthcare benefit elections that you made during the October open enrollment period are reflected in that check. You pay in December for coverage that begins in January. So those of you who are SHRA employees and receive biweekly pay, that you'll see those deductions come out beginning on December 1st. And for those of you who are getting monthly pay stubs, you will see that deduction happen at the end of the month. Couple of other updates. Carolina Cares, Carolina Shares is happening right now. It's the 40th annual campaign, and we're pleased to say that as of today, which is Wednesday, we've raised $204,406 toward our $500,000 goal. So we're 40% of the way there, and we hope you'll take an opportunity to click on the links in the messages sent to you weekly, or to visit the carolinacares.unc.edu website and select a few charities that you may wish to support. You can do so through payroll deduct. A reminder that if you click on the North Carolina State Employee Combined Campaign.org, ncsecc.org website, you can also search the Charity Navigator, and there are a number of resources and organizations who are helping Western North Carolina. So if you had been wondering about how you might support our colleagues in the western part of the state, we encourage you to consider the Carolina Cares, Carolina Shares campaign as a way to do so. And you can visit the Charity Navigator to go ahead and select organizations that are helping and those impacted by Hurricane Helene. And then a couple of professional development updates before Jessica provides some wellness updates. Many of you have participated in or know people who have participated in the ULEAD program, the University Leadership Education and Development Program. We have another round, a 6-month session that's happening in the spring. And this program is really focused on meeting the challenges of higher education's changing environment. It's a great opportunity. Applications have been extended through December 12th. So if that's something you're interested in, we encourage you to check out our website, hr.unc.edu/training/ULEAD. There's lots of great instruction, classroom sessions, a 360 assessment, and an intensive practical project that are all part of this program. Likewise, if you're looking for something that's a little easier to do and allows you to do it on your own timeline, I encourage you to check out some featured playlists that our team has put together in the Carolina Talent Learning module. If you go to the learner homepage in Carolina Talent, there's a new curated resource at the bottom of that website. There are collections of training resources on specific topics, which include things like project management, public speaking, which I could probably use some help with, career development, and organization strategies. And we're adding things regularly. So if you're looking for some go at your own pace professional development, I encourage you to check out Carolina Talent and some of the feature playlists that have been put in there. And finally, before I duck off, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to all of you for all you do every day in service to Carolina in support of our great institution. I hope that you all get a chance to take a little bit of a breather over the winter holidays, that you're able to spend time with those that you hold most dear, that you're able to overconsume just a little bit, and that you come back in 2025 eager to continue to make a lasting impact. The work you do here is so important, and I feel very lucky to call you all my colleagues in support of Carolina. Happy holidays to each and every one of you, and Godspeed. Cheers.
All right, folks. Well, thank you to Becci for providing those remarks remotely. Before I turn it over to Jessica, if there are questions that arose from Becci's remarks, if they're super timely, emailing Becci and Link should get you a response. Otherwise, we can submit questions for any clarifications needed to the Qualtrics that Matt will send out for the January VC meeting, and we can get kind of some opportunity to discuss and clarify anything. I did see there was one question in the chat that I think I can answer, although I'm not in HR. Natalia asked, can you talk a little about the changes to the vacation time rollover limit, changed to 20 days, 160 hours for 2025. It was in the update included in the UNC Staff Assembly HR update sent out last month, and we can currently roll over 30 days or 240 hours. So this is that EPS personal leave policy, and this is for employees that are hired January 1 or later. Employees that are already here are not subject to this policy. They can opt into this policy if they wanted to, although I'm not quite sure why they would want to. So it will not impact current employees. This is more for future EPS hires that this personal leave policy would apply to. So I hope that clarifies that. But again, if there's other questions about that EPS policy, I think there's a lot of kind of concern about that floating around out there. We can chat to Becci and her team about that, hopefully at the VC meeting coming up in early January. And like I said, any other burning questions, we can send over to Becci and Link and hopefully get an answer. So yeah. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to the lovely Jessica Pyjas, who is here to give us wellness updates. Jessica, turn it over to you.
Hello, good morning, everyone who's participating virtually and there in the room. Sorry I could not be there with you today either. I am hoping to see some of you later this afternoon, though. I wanted to give you all an update on how we've been doing with our past Miles for Wellness challenges. Outstanding participation by Tar Heels this past fall. We had 74 Carolina teams participate. That's 20 teams more than we had participate in the spring. And overall, that State Miles for Wellness Challenge has over 400 teams participating. So we're contributing about 17% of the teams to the overall state challenge that's run out of the State Office of Human Resources. So we had just around 650 Tar Heels participate, and together we walked 170,000 miles approximately. And we did not place in the overall challenge. We have in previous years, but it's a great motivational challenge that a lot of people like participating in. And results are going to be shared in today's Workwell that will be going out before the end of the day. But did want to give a kudos to the team that walked the most steps and miles this past fall challenge, and that is the BCAS Road Warriors 1 team led by Jenny Vaughn in Alcohol Studies Center. So they placed first amongst all of our Carolina teams and placed 6th in the Bionic Hair Challenge. So we'll give all these updates to Katie to share out as well. In addition, last month, we had a very successful vegetarian holiday cooking demo that we held in partnership with the Carolina Dining Services. Chef Geis and Lee July have been fantastic to work with over the years and came out again this November to share some wonderful, healthy recipes with us, as well as a lunch following that. We had over 40 people participate and about 20 people participate virtually, and those recipes will be in today's Workwell as well. So you'll have access to those recipes. You'll also have access to a video showing you the cooking demo, which is about 35 minutes. We're closing out this month with just one more Wellness Wednesday webinar next week. That topic is going to be understanding depression, because although this can be a happy time of year for some folks with all the holidays and the upcoming winter break, it's also a time of year where some folks are missing a lot of people from their lives. So if you feel that you may be struggling more with depression as opposed to just the winter blues, please tune into this webinar. Also helpful if you're looking to just learn more about depression and help anyone else in your life that you might be concerned that is struggling with depression. We're going to be resuming these Wellness Wednesday webinars in the new year when we get back to our full week back in the office or virtually. So they'll pick up on January 8th again, and we'll have one about every Wednesday of the month. So the January 8th webinar will be Reinventing Yourself, and these sessions will be added to our overall calendar before winter break, but the January and all the spring sessions are not yet on the calendar, but did want to let you know they will be resuming January 8th. With our perks and discounts, as you're looking to save, I wanted to bring to your attention that through the discount platform Perks Connect, if you're looking with some help with cleaning, with keeping your household tidy, you receive $60 off your first home cleaning through Handy Household Cleaning Services. Again, that's through the Perks Connect platform, and that's $60 off when you sign up for a cleaning plan, which is either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. So please look into that. It'll be promoted in the newsletter today as well. And then again, Working Advantage has a lot of gifting ideas. If you're still holiday shopping and need any gifts for fitness fanatics, foodies, kids, one that I learned about was that the Disney store online offers a special discount to employees through Working Advantage. There's also Spa Week gift cards that can be purchased discounted online as well. And then 40% off of all Shutterfly orders, as well as ongoing tech savings for techies in your households. That is all I have today, but if you've not heard, today is the Jingle Bell Jog. So if you're healthy and well and able to come out and join us at Fetzer this afternoon, we're going to kick off around noon. It is a 1.5 mile walk for walkers, a 2.7 mile fun run for our runners. The sun is shining. It is a little brisk, but it's going to be a great time, and I look forward to seeing you there. Happy holidays all. Please take time to take care of yourself as we move towards winter break. Take time to breathe and enjoy that winter break. Put the laptops down.
Thanks, Jessica. The laptop segue is a great point. I got an email from the new director of the student stores who wanted me to kind of pass along another perk that employees can take advantage of this holiday season. And that is the purchase of laptops at student stores. So her note was that the employee purchase program at the bookstore allows a full-time employee to purchase a computer or laptop with only 10% down. And it's spread, the rest is spread over payments over 6 months throughout your through your paycheck. So it's a great option with holidays around the corner if you're looking to purchase any tech or laptop gear for you or your family. That is an option. And Jessica coming in clutch and putting the link in the chat as always. So yeah, passing along the word for that one as well. Any questions for Jessica? I think we have a blood drive team walking in the Jingle Bell jog this afternoon. So looking forward to having some of the forum folks out there celebrating. It's always a good time. Awesome. Thanks, Jessica. As always, I'll send out those updates after the meeting.
Have a wonderful holiday, everyone. Thank you.
All right, folks. Turn into the next portion of our agenda, which is the consent agenda. Only thing on the consent agenda this time around is the November 1st meeting minutes. The committee updates are going to be done separately just after the consent agenda. With that said, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda with the November minutes? If you're in the room, reminder, you'll have to push the microphone to speak.
I sent Matt 2 typo corrections. So with that as amendment, I vote we approve.
Okay, any second?
Second. Teresa, second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All of those in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, the consent agenda passes. Thanks, everyone. Moving right along into committee updates. We're going to go through committee updates this time around, just giving a kind of end of the year push of all of the amazing work the committees are up to. And then we'll hit the ground running again in January when we get back. So first up is communications and public relations. Shane or Joe, is anyone on the call or in person? I see Shane online.
Hello. Just to update, we will have an in touch going out early next week. If anybody has any particular news that they want to send to us to include, please do so quickly. And in terms of future plans, we had a meeting of our podcast subcommittee to revive the Employee Forum podcast and make a plan to start doing profiles of different employees throughout there. So that is one of the major things we'll be working on this coming semester in the spring. And we'll be sending out, once the break is over, some maybe some information to poll people in the forum on get candidates to interview and talk to, or people that we think would be good to highlight that are staff members of the university. So look forward to sending people more information about that in January.
Awesome. Thanks, Shane. Shayna has asked to go next out of order. So Shayna, I am turning the mic to you.
Great, thank you. I'm sorry I have to run to a doctor's appointment, so I'm cutting in the line. I just wanted to make you all aware that the staff assembly worked for 2 years on a bereavement policy resolution. This was sent sometime in the beginning of the year or last year. It's hard for me to remember at this point. It was sent to President Hans. We had a meeting about it. And lo and behold, after that resolution went through and the executive order by the governor, the UNC system decided to adopt the bereavement policy. So I just wanted to outline that the great work that the staff assembly is doing that you may not know. Once again, I think is Keith in the room. I see him. I want to shout out to Keith. Keith and Jill Phipps were the 2 folks that hung on for the entire 2 years until it got passed. So please, if you are not involved with the staff assembly or you want to just watch the meetings, they are all public. You can zoom in, let us know, and we will welcome you. And thank you for allowing me to take this time to share that with you. I hope everybody has a wonderful break and a great reset. Love to you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Shayna. While we're talking about staff assembly, Keith, do you want to share some awesome golf tournament updates? I know the numbers kind of have shaken out and we have a little bit more solid information on what was raised during the golf tournament back in September.
sure if I can remember correctly.
I can
So
pull it up if you don't have it.
participated in the golf tournament. We came out, volunteered, and helped. It was a really good time. Love you for it. Hopefully, we can have more people next year. Because thanks to, where's Charlie? Okay, Charlie and Arlene submitted the bid for it to be at Finley, and well, they were the only people to submit a bid, so they won by default. But they did all the work and probably would have won anyway. So, and since I was the tournament director, they would have won anyway. So, yeah, so first year we had a full field, 30 teams. I feel like I've given you all this update. So I'm just gonna skip to the money. I think I told y'all it was an estimated $40,000 profit. Was a little bit off. It was closer to 70. So yeah, so that goes to the Janet B. Royster Scholarship, which all full-time staff are eligible to apply for. And what we try to do is give out at least 17 of those each year, one to each institution. This year, our person that won was Jessica Washington. Don't know. Jennifer Washington. Okay, yeah, okay. Jennifer Washington. But so yeah, we raised close to $70,000.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for that update, Keith. Turn into Natalia. Any updates from the book? No, Natalia, it looks like. So turning to community.
She's on, or she was. She's still, her picture is still showing on the screen, so.
We'll come back to her. It's fine. Community service, Allie and or Teresa.
Hello, this is Allie. I just wanted to update everybody. We're partnering with the UNC-Chapel, try and help them with their toy drive this year. There's 2 ways to give via an Amazon wish list, which I sent out to everybody yesterday, as well as a drop-off schedule for donations directly to the hospital. I also received a kind of more generalized wish list from them today and sent that out as well. So we're asking for your help to kind of distribute to your units, and we'll get in touch with the communications committee to try and get that information in touch as well. So that's the main donation drive. There's also a way to submit a form for it to be tax deductible. So if you all could spread that information around to try and help the holiday season a little bit brighter for those kids in the children's hospital, that would be awesome.
This is Teresa. I attended the disaster recovery meeting yesterday with the Center for Carolina Public Service. And there was a lot of information. A couple of folks discussed trips that they had taken to the Western area. And it's just hearing the stories is just heartbreaking. But right now we're still waiting to find out what our partnership is going to be with Scenic when it comes to that. And we also are going to be having donation information for different donor or needs and things from the Carolina Center for Public Service at the blood drive, which is next week. Not to steal any thunder from Renata, but that does fall under community service. I'm going to drop off and let her cover that, but that's what's going on. And then we'll also be looking at doing a building opportunity in the spring. So stay tuned for more information for that.
All right, segueing right into the blood drive for Nada.
Hi, everyone. As Teresa mentioned, the blood drive is next week, so it's next Wednesday. It starts promptly at 7:30 a.m., and I'm happy to announce that as of Tuesday, we have filled all of our scheduled appointments. Yeah. If you guys weren't able to schedule an appointment, definitely drop by. We always have walk-in space available. If you want to make sure that you get a walk-in space, come around 2:30, because we do have an unpublished block. I'm going to tell you guys that secret. So if you guys want to walk in around that time, you can still donate. We have a lot of people that donated food items. We were able to get cookies donated from Wegmans. Some of our normal food suppliers will be there. So definitely drop by, hang out, volunteer if you're not signed up. I know we have a couple of people that canceled last minute. So we will resend that volunteer sign up list if you want to grab a spot to volunteer. We are walking in the Jingle Bell Jog in a couple hours. If you guys want to follow me over, it might be warmer when we go out a little bit later. I don't know. It might be warmer, maybe. But that's all I have for you guys.
Thanks, Renata. I'm going to use that segue of the Jingle Bell Jog to pivot to Rebecca. There's another opportunity. If you're not able to go walk around with us this afternoon, if you want to go freeze your butt off outside, there is another opportunity this coming Saturday. Rebecca, do you want to share some details on that?
I would love to. So the fabulous Teresa, where are you hiding? Right back here, has agreed to join me for the parade tomorrow morning in Chapel Hill. We will be walking 1.3 miles from Franklin Street all the way up to the town hall in Carborough, handing out candy. I don't know what kind yet. They'll give it to us. But I would love to have more than just my kiddo. Please, I need more than just my 13-year-old and Teresa with me. My 13-year-old requires at least another 2 adults.
Officially, Rebecca, just keep in mind, Tucker.
Oh, Tucker, we have a dog. So if you have a dog and your dog needs to go for a walk tomorrow morning, rather than getting up and walking your dog at home, come on down and join us at Chapel Hill. Lineup is at 9:15. And I will even treat everyone to a hot chocolate or a coffee afterwards. My treat. Please come join me. See me after the meeting or send me an email. And we'd love to see you in your Carolina attire.
And just to kind of share some details, this is the first time that the university is formally participating in the Chapel Hill Holiday Parade. And it was a great honor that the folks over at our public relations team in the Chancellor's office reached out to the employee forum and wanted kind of employees representing the university to walk in the parade. So really would love to have some more folks come out and join Rebecca. I think there's some pom-poms that they're going to have for us, but wear your Carolina swag. Come out and enjoy a walk in the parade. I think we're pretty close to Santa, so like, you know, saving the best for last. But come out and join us. I really, really wish that I could be there. I'm leaving for India this weekend, so I cannot attend, but hopefully they continue to invite us and offer this in future years as well, because this is a cool opportunity. So thanks for that. And thanks to Rebecca for agreeing to coordinate this for us. It was a last minute ask. So awesome. Next up, Carolina Community Garden. Arlene, any updates?
Just one, if you get the garden newsletter, you've already seen this. Basically, right before it got really, really cold, they had 39 volunteers over the 2 work days that managed to get row covers in place, as well as the usual composting moved, new seedlings planting, the old fencing was dug up, leaves raked, the usual. They had collards, kale, mustard, arugula, turnip greens, and radishes, some of which they distributed to second shift housekeepers on Tuesday, which is right before the 2nd. So they had it right in time for Thanksgiving. If you're interested, they do have photos of every workday on the newsletter. You can email Claire and ask to be added.
Awesome. Next up is DEI.
Dates.
said no updates, Katie.
Okay, great. Next up, we have leadership, education, and career development. Ellie and or Siobhan.
We are currently reviewing and compiling professional development grant scores for the fall cycle. We had 85 applications. So those should go out probably early to middle of next week. If you have folks that ask you, you can either tell them that information or you can send them to the website, which has an email address that they can ask questions for. So I think that's it. That's it.
Membership and engagement, Tiffany or Keith.
Good morning. Thank you to all of you committee chairs that provided me with your attendance report. Those of you that did not, you know who you are. I've talked to one. I'm just gonna say the other one because I haven't talked to the other. Communications and marketing, I have not heard from you. So basically what Tiffany, Katie, and I are doing is we are looking through the attendance for VC reps meetings, for executive committee meetings, for the general body meetings like we are in today, and committee meetings. Because if people are holding space, we would really like for you to do the work. And now we do understand that doing the work looks differently for everyone. Everyone's not gonna do the work like I do the work. Everyone's not gonna do the work like Sarah and Natasha do the work, saying them because they're sitting right in front of me, just like staring at me intensely. But the key operating thing here is doing the work. And you cannot do the work if you're never here. So we are looking at that because when you sign up for the employee forum, you say yes to this commitment and we pretty much lay it out for you of the expectations. And listen, we know life starts lifing and stuff happens. Like, I am an example of that this semester. Like, I never thought that I would be in a hurricane disaster zone, but that is where I live. But if you're not showing up, then you're holding space where other people could be here and doing and showing up and doing the work. And sometimes, like, I am all about extending grace. And sometimes extending grace is recognizing that showing up some days is the best that can be done. Like, I may get there and not get a lot done because life has just lifed me out. But I tried, I showed up. But we have some people that are not even showing up. So we want to free up those spaces to allow space for people who want to come and do the work. Because we need those people, because the work is not easy. The work is not always appreciated. It is not always welcomed. It is not always understood. And honestly, it is seldom rewarded. But we do it anyway, and we need more people to do it. And we're trying to get to the place where we have more people doing the work. So if you could, please send me your attendance reports, or if you have some activity going on and your people are showing up for that, that counts as engagement, that counts as being there. I think that's all I have. I'm sure Tiffany has some more.
Before Tiffany goes, I just want to add something to what Keith said. Really, I mean, we understand that there's times that folks can't attend, and really just being communicative to your committee chair and or to me, Matt, Keith, Tiffany, whoever, about excused absences. So as long as you're communicating to us like, hey, I have something going on and I can't make it. I know several folks did that today, and we really appreciate knowing about that and can mark you as excused. So we understand that things come up. So just making sure you communicate that to the forum folks and or to your committee chairs if you can't make a meeting, that goes a long way. So yeah, Tiffany.
Come full circle with the rest of that. Our intent, and after reviewing all of this, is to send out letters to those who have not been active and politely asking them to step down so that we can contact folks who did not win their elections. If, you know, if we have space for them and if they're still interested in participating on the forum, so we will be doing that. So that's why we are really pushing to get folks to let us know about participation, because there may be some folks who are coming to general body meetings but can't make other things, or who are participating on committees but can't make general body meetings. I will also put a plug out there. You don't have to be a delegate to participate on our committees. So it could be that you're holding a delegate space and you really only want to participate on the committee. Yeah, you know, but I think the people that I'm talking to today are not the people who, I mean, they're just not here. They haven't been, and so I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. So just wanted to throw that plug in there and let you guys know, just to be transparent about why we're doing this and what we're trying to do after the fact. And then also, I just wanted to draw attention to Todd Hooks, who has been a longtime delegate, who is in the room with us today, who is retiring as of January 1st. So just wanted to celebrate him and congratulate him. He has put in his 30 years here and is ready to go do something else. And I do not blame him. So congratulations, Todd. And so glad that you're here in the room with us today.
Kudos and shout out to Todd. And Todd, I still expect to see you out on the golf course for the golf tournament with your grill. So yeah, looking forward to still having you out at our events, because you will be sorely missed.
Hey, Katie, I have a question regarding the Vice Chancellor meetings. Can you
Yeah.
clarify the expectations for that? Can you restate the expectations for those meetings, please?
Sure. So the Vice Chancellor meetings are just another opportunity for us to engage a little bit more one-on-one with our Vice Chancellors and kind of ask the more nitty-gritty questions that we don't really have a lot of time for in full body meetings, and really can get into kind of some more niche things. So folks really on the forum should hopefully want to engage and ask kind of some of the pressing questions that are relevant to your constituencies of the folks that have the power to make decisions and changes that could benefit folks. So it's really an important part of the forum's work and the advocacy that we do on behalf of staff. So the hope is that you're participating in at least one of those a year. I think some things have changed since the time where I joined the forum, where that was one of your main ways that you could interact with senior leadership. Now that we've got the Chancellor and Provost roundtables mostly every month, except for the months of our socials, I think there's other ways that we've been able to have delegates engaged, but I think the expectation and the hope is that you'll still participate in at least one, if not most, of the Vice Chancellor meetings throughout the year and ask kind of some of those important questions and get some kind of clarification and advocacy work done. So that's the hope. Does that clarify things, Teresa?
Yes, the one question I would have going along with that, to attend, do you have to submit a question to ask?
No.
No? Okay, that's
So
what I wanted to clarify.
the Qualtrics form, when you sign up, you can sign up to attend and register that you're attending, but you don't have to submit a question in that. Great question. And it's good opportunity if you just want to come and listen in and ask kind of follow-up questions to other folks submitted questions. It's always helpful to have forum folks at that. Great. Awesome.
Just because I've been hearing some questions about this in the space and I'm not sure y'all can, it is just 2 per calendar year that you're expected to attend. Like, we get that these are complicated and don't always work well with your time, but think about it like once per semester, once per, 6 months. You don't have to attend all of them, but do try to make 2.
Wait. And those are via Zoom, so it's a little easier for some folks to attend. So great thoughts and questions there. All right, any other membership and engagement questions, thoughts before we move to the next one? All right, next up is personnel issues, Sharon and/or Greg.
In our last meeting, we did a deep dive on parking and parking issues, and thanks to Keith and also to Katie for being there and answering a lot of questions and helping take some of those forward. Our next meeting is week after next. If anyone could, make sure you've either accepted if you're going to be able to attend or decline. December's very tough, and want to make sure of what we are expecting for attendance for that meeting. We are also going to be sending out another poll, the date time that we had last selected for the last few months haven't worked out for a lot of folks, and we're going to send another update, another poll, and see if we can find a better time. So please respond to that, and you'll notice that in the spring when we schedule. And Greg, chime in if I left anything off.
I can add that the Personnel Committee and the DEI Committee are partnering to do a subcommittee on salary. So if you are interested in joining that conversation or work and are not in one of those two committees, you can just email any one of us, Greg or myself, or and to find out when those meetings will be held.
Awesome. Thanks, folks. Next up is recognition and awards. Any updates from Shayla or Charlie?
We have no updates.
Thank you. Rules, any updates from you, Jacob?
Updates at this time.
All right. We've already done staff assembly. So moving into university committee representatives, advisory committee on transportation and parking hasn't met recently, but I think the plan was to reconvene that group hopefully sometime early in 2025 to kind of do some follow-up work after the 5-year plan was released, and kind of some of the pain points were kind of felt with the rollout of parking this past August. Now that they've got the new leadership team in place, hopefully we can reconvene that committee and get back to work. All right, AI committee, Matt Teal, any updates from AI?
No updates right now.
Well, while I have you unmuted, do you want to give any updates on policy review?
PRC meets next Thursday, 10 to 11 on Zoom. We've got a couple of research specific policies coming up this month, and then we should have a policy in January about clarifying how the university assigns space to units. Right now, it's sort of a Wild West, so operational excellence has been leading the charge, working with facilities and other folks to develop a process, clarify that process. So we're excited to have that come in January. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Buildings and grounds, James wasn't able to attend today, but he did send word that they're planning to meet sometime soon, but they haven't met recently. So hopefully more updates next meeting. Carolina Engagement Council. I kind of gave my update on that last time we just met a couple weeks ago. So glad to be on that group and helping kind of advise Carolina Center for Public Service and all of the engagement work UNC does. Carolina Peer Support Collaborative. Sarah, any updates from CPSD?
We have our next and possibly last ever meeting next week, because as far as I have heard, they have not been funded.
That's no bueno. Keep us updated, because hopefully the funding for that continues. From everything I'm hearing from the Chancellor and Christy, the intention is to fund peer support, continue funding peer support past the grants expiring. All right, Committee on the Status of Women. Anything going on there, Rebecca?
So.
Nope. And you're next for EOC Policy Advisory Group. I don't think they've met either.
No, we have not met.
Faculty Welfare Committee, any updates from Lisa on that group?
Chair of the Faculty Welfare Committee resigned last month due to some concerns with some university procedures. So we are meeting, I believe, next week with a couple other leadership members to decide where the committee goes from here.
Awesome. And I was remiss not to give a shout out to Lisa Peterson during the staff assembly golf tournament update. Lisa has volunteered to serve as co-chair after Keith rolls off. So Lisa will be helping to co-chair the golf tournament next year. So any questions or concerns or thoughts about kind of UNC's bid to host again next year, Lisa is your gal. And we appreciate Lisa taking that on. So thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
I have rolled off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's get that clear.
We understand, Keith. We are very clear. Let's see, parking appeals, anything, Tiffany and Taya, Charlie, anything on that front? Cool. Public Affairs Council. I gave my updates on that last time as well. We just met a couple weeks ago for the first time. And that's where kind of our federal, state, and local kind of public affairs team kind of comes and give updates quarterly to a group of senior leadership, deans, campus leaders like myself and Beth, and others, kind of talking about UNC's public affairs arm and the things that we're doing to advocate to the powers that be, the legislature here in North Carolina, and even the federal legislature. So great to be on that. And that's the group that is reaching out and hoping to have us participate in the parade. So good to be connected with them. Student Stores Advisory Committee, David or Shayla, any updates there?
No updates.
David, I did connect you and Shayla with the new director over there. I just found out they have a new director. So hopefully we can be in touch with her and work with that moving forward. All right, last up is Tuition and Fee Advisory Task Force and Student Fee Advisory Subcommittee. Annetta, any final updates there? I think we talked about that last time as well.
We haven't met in November. I think the only updates were related to just some new programming moving forward, funding request. So they're in the stages of full vetting at the leadership level and getting a decision on a slight increase in tuition and funding for some new programs. Thank you.
Thanks, Annetta. All right, well, we're super far ahead of schedule. So let's move into old business. And with this, we have the second reading of Resolution 24-04 regarding inaccessible emergency and safety planning. For this, I think I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, because they're like leaf blowing right outside. So I'm gonna have to mute, but Sarah and or the two Sarahs.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, so appreciate everyone who provided feedback. We got so much feedback on this resolution. Y'all were incredible. They kept rolling in even through last night. So thank you for all of the comments and suggestions and recommendations that you all made. There is a final version out. As you can see up on the board, that is draft version 2. That is not the final. So Matt, let me, I don't know how to. So in SharePoint, Matt, if you can just go and find the final version, it's in that same folder. It just says version 3.
I'm heading there now, so give me 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was Matt. Thanks, Katie.
Katie's doing the sharing.
Noted. Appreciate it. Well, I'll keep talking while Katie is searching. So we made a lot of revisions, the most notable of which was the removal of any mention of changes to the funding for security or police forces or anything on campus. That was not quite in alignment and was felt to be unnecessary, so we removed that recommendation. Sarah and I did meet with the Equal Opportunity Office and have not gotten the numbers back. So while there was a whereas section where we were going to include specific data from that team, they did not get that to us in time for this reading. So that's just been removed. We probably could follow up with a footnote at some point with that data, but you will notice that it has been taken out. And otherwise, just kind of language and clarity stuff and a whole lot of reorganizing the footnotes. So thank you again to everybody who put in their input. Also, final note before I turn it over to Sarah to reread, the DEI committee voted to collectively support and put forward this resolution to the employee forum. So that changes nothing about how you all vote, but we thought it was important that we put our backing behind it broader than just the people that brought this forward. We as a full committee thought this was valuable and important to present to the chancellor. So Sarah, take it away. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that context, and I think Katie's got the kind of final version up. I did want to note there were some folks that we really appreciated adding some context and some comments. Officer Williams, thank you again for collaborating with us on this and just really giving us some insight into scope and what is feasible, as well as we had a member of Forum put some notes in, Kaylee Allen, yesterday. So we tried to incorporate as much of that as possible. And so, yeah, I'm going to get started on the second reading. Here we go. All right, so Resolution 2404, UNC-Chapel Hill Employee Forum Resolution regarding inaccessible emergency and safety planning. Whereas the Employee Forum at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, UNC-Chapel Hill, or University, was created to advocate for and constructively address the challenges, needs, and opportunities of UNC-Chapel Hill employees, and seeks to continually improve the quality of life at UNC-Chapel Hill for its staff, students, and faculty. And whereas the UNC-Chapel Hill Employee Forum is in a unique position to learn about, often through direct experience, both unique and widespread challenges staff and Carolina community members face, and are well positioned to bring these issues to leadership. And whereas the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, as amended, states that no qualified individual with a disability shall, by reason of such disability, be excluded from participation in or be denied the benefits of the services, programs, or activities of a public entity, which includes UNC-Chapel Hill, or be subjected to discrimination by any such entity. And whereas Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, as amended, also states, no otherwise qualified individual with a disability in the United States shall, solely by reason of her or his disability, be excluded from the participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. And whereas the U.S. Department of Education's regulations on implementing Section 504 state, no qualified handicapped student shall, on the basis of handicap, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or otherwise be subjected to discrimination under any academic, research, occupational training, housing, health insurance, counseling, financial aid, physical education, athletics, recreation, transportation, other extracurricular, or other post-secondary education aid, benefits, or services to which this subpart applies. And whereas the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, is a federal mandate which states that employees with disabilities should not experience barriers to get accommodations, as failure to provide accommodations and unnecessary delays can result in a violation of the ADA. And whereas numerous media articles have highlighted the severe and ongoing concerns about accessibility on the UNC-Chapel Hill campus. And whereas UNC-Chapel Hill's lack of adequate consideration of people with differing needs and abilities on our campus when making operational or safety modifications or emergency procedures. And whereas the university's documented failure to meet the accessibility needs of the campus community dramatically impacts the safety and well-being of said members at all levels and prevents those individuals from living, working, and learning at the university with the same level of ease as their peers. And whereas the university's documented failure to meet the accessibility needs of the campus community places the university at risk of financial, legal, life safety, operational, and reputational harm. And whereas the UNC Systems 2022 through 2027 strategic plan states the UNC Systems constituent institutions collectively compromise an inclusive and vibrant system that is committed to excellence and the development of a diverse community of staff, students, and faculty, including people of diverse abilities. And whereas the UNC-Chapel Hill Strategic Plan Initiative Number 1, Build Our Community Together, states that UNC recognizes the fundamental challenges in our day-to-day life in the form of real and urgent concerns about accessibility, race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, culture, health inequities, and political orientation. Carolina is committed to creating and sustaining a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community of students, faculty, and staff. Our differences are our strength. And whereas the preeminent institution of higher learning, as a preeminent institution of higher learning and the flagship of the University of North Carolina system, UNC-Chapel Hill should be actively leading the charge to weave a rich tapestry of personal lived experiences and abilities. And whereas the increased security measures of the past few months have shown a lack of consideration to our staff, faculty, and students with disabilities and violates their rights to access their offices, classrooms, dormitories, and study spaces, even after requests have been made. And whereas Provost Clemens indicated in the November 1st, 2024 employee forum meeting that not informing UNC staff about the plan to lock buildings for the week of October 7th was intentional as opposed to an accidental oversight. And whereas the employee forum recognizes the ongoing accessibility challenges are complex and will require work to solve, and stand ready to support the university leadership and other stakeholders with developing and implementing practical solutions. Therefore, be it resolved that the employee forum calls on the Chancellor and his cabinet to, 1, prioritize accessibility related maintenance requests and completing the said maintenance in a timely manner. 2, develop an agile and robust process for receiving student and employee accessibility concerns and adding those to the existing maintenance list. 3, treat staff as partners and facilitators in the smooth operation of the Chapel Hill campus. 4, include staff as equal stakeholders to faculty in all communications sent out about changes to campus operations and security measures. 5, recommend at the time of any proposed security response changes that the UNC Police Department, Campus Safety, and the Office of Emergency Management and Planning work with designated liaison from the Office of Equal Opportunity and Compliance to create a written plan which intentionally takes accessibility into account. This should include a robust conversation about ensuring that handicap door opening buttons are in working order at all times for entry and exit. Recommend that the UNC Police Department, Campus Safety, Office of Emergency Management and Planning, and the Office of Equal Opportunity and Compliance collaborate to review and update training for UNC police responders, other frontline responders, and entities contracted by UNC-Chapel Hill on how to appropriately interact with persons with disabilities and their support animals and aides. When UNC is contracting with outside groups for security purposes, said contractors will first be briefed on the policy on prohibited discrimination, harassment, and related misconduct before interacting with community members, especially but not exclusively those with disability aids. Recommend that the Office of Equal Opportunity and Compliance review all current security plans for adequate accessibility measures. And number 9, uphold and comply with the ADA as required by law, ideally exceeding expectations for our community members. This includes installing working one-card access readers at all entryways with ramps and handicap door opening buttons. All right, so is now the time for
Now
conversation?
is the time for a motion. Do I hear a motion to consider Resolution 24-04 on second reading?
Rebecca, I so move.
Is there a second?
Teresa, I second.
All right, now comes discussion on proposed resolution 24-04. I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna go in and make a couple grammatical changes that I saw. Not significant changes, but grammatical and formatting things that I noticed. And also adding a section at the end that says signed me that we usually have at the end of resolutions. So as I'm doing that, I open up the floor for discussion on this proposed resolution. Feel free to raise your hand, unmute on Zoom, and or use the microphone if you're in the room.
This is Rebecca. I just wanted to say thank you to the committee and to those who participated in putting this together. I know a lot of thought went into it. I think it was very, very mindfully done. Yeah, that's it.
Teresa, I second that. I'd like to give you guys a round of applause.
And I third that. And I want to say also that it will be a work in progress to see how the University of North Carolina can also work with the UNC healthcare system to reflect this and all of the principles reflected in here for staff working in UNC contracted healthcare clinics, research outposts, you name it. It'll be a long uphill task, but I still think it should be named.
At risk of adding stuff to this very well written document, I'm just curious if anyone else has had any experience with the ongoing ADA compliance survey that's happening campus wide, and if we have an expected date, and if we could roll, I don't know, taking that under strong advisement into this body, because I mean, like, as someone who's had their building tested, I'm like, I know we've got things that didn't meet ADA guidelines, but I'm pretty sure we're not alone on campus on that. But I also know that they're doing the entire campus building by building, and you're looking at 200 plus buildings, so it's going to take a while. But I wasn't sure if anybody knew. Track my suggestion.
Other discussion, and again, I'm sorry, I can't really see raised hands in the room, so I'm just allowing y'all to moderate yourselves and kind of call on folks as discussion goes.
Jacob was saying that the accessibility review, where they're going building by building to check ADA compliance.
Yeah.
Is not, we should not wait for that, considering that in chat they said April 2026.
Yeah.
But it's something that we should follow up on.
Definitely.
Many opportunities to continue to intersect with them, and that is something that should be discussed.
It's definitely on my radar. I participated in that webinar around digital accessibility, and that deadline in 2026 to have all UNC websites digitally accessible. That is something that's on my radar and the forum's radar to make sure that we are compliant with that policy.
That deadline is April 2025 for the digital.
It's April 2026. At least according to the webinar I participated in. Matt Teal, correct me if I'm wrong.
I was at that same webinar and I thought they said 2025. I was going to ask, can we scroll up the resolution past the whereases? So we're looking at the body of what we're asking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other discussion? Anyone online? I'll have my chat up. Hang on.
The only suggestion I have is actually kind of a small one, but just from the word salad that can happen professionally with just the use of prioritize, it doesn't necessarily put it at the top. So if we could change the resolution from prioritize, but also the fact that at a certain point, it also turns into related maintenance, which means facilities has to do it. Facilities isn't fully staffed or well supported. So I think maybe if we could put something in there to like prioritize and lend, support and resources to the maintenance projects, I think might actually put a little bit more, because, priority is like, oh, we did, it's just seventh.
Really appreciating the tone of that because these people are doing hard work. And I hope that they know that we're here as a resource and not oppositional, but we're all in this together and we can solve it together. I hope.
I know you guys have already thanked Officer Williams, but I do want to give a pretty big shout out for how awkward and difficult that was. And I think the shift in tone and ask is much more in line with what this body can and should do. So I know that couldn't have been a pleasant or easy conversation. So thanks for doing the hard work on both sides.
Agreed. Great work. Any final discussion, feedback?
I read it, the more impressed I am.
Okay. Hearing no other discussion, I'm going to call the question. The motion on the floor is to consider and vote on approval of resolution 24-04 regarding inaccessible emergency and safety planning. I think because we've got a hybrid meeting, the best practice for this is going to be a roll call vote. Tiffany, are you able to help with that and read the roll call and take the vote?
She just stepped out, Katie.
Yeah.
Keith, do you have a roster in front of you and would be able to do that? Or Matt Banks, could you send me the roster or Keith the roster? I think somebody in the room probably is best to facilitate.
Matthew's got it.
Okay, perfect.
Just needs a second to pull up the roster.
Yeah, take your time.
All right, are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Hold on, let me get my life. Let me get my life. Let me get my life. Here we go. Ellie Alexander.
Yay.
Callie Allen. David Burnett. Randall Borer.
Yay.
Sharon Boquin. David Bragg. Shane Brogan.
Aye.
Benita Brown. Renata Buchanan. Siobhan Carey Hicks. Tiffany Carver. Matthew Chamberlain.
Aye.
Warren Chu. Gabriela De La Cruz. Kelsey Dillon.
Aye.
Chastity Dixon. Elizabeth Dubose.
Yay.
Alicia Esthope Frazier.
Aye.
Paloma Eddowes. Shayla Evans Hollingsworth. Adriani Gibalesco.
Aye.
Sarah Green.
Aye.
Chrissy Greenberg. Megan Harvell. Leslie Heel. Keith Hines. Yay. James Holman. Rebecca Howe.
Aye.
Samara Howe.
Aye.
Bridget Ironside.
Aye.
Stacy Keast. Sarah Kelly. Paige Cryer.
Aye.
Jennifer Larson. Ide Marchese. Deja Mardre. Tori Mason.
Aye.
Amber Meads. Arlene Metter.
Aye.
Sheree Miller. Mandy Melton. Okay. Mandy had the cutest little eye I've ever heard. Vanessa Mitchell.
Aye.
Stephanie Morales.
Aye.
Katie Musgrove.
I can't vote.
Natalia Neal. Catherine Neer. Ken Nesbitt.
Aye.
Joseph Orman. Lisa Peterson.
Aye.
Elena Smith Potts.
Aye.
Trelissa Rice. Drexel Rivers. Janie Sanchez. Kelly Skurlock Cross. Lori Shamblin. Audrey Shore.
Aye.
Teresa Silsby.
Aye.
Paige Simpson.
Aye.
Heather Skinner. Greg Smith.
Aye.
Sarah Smith,
Aye.
Jake Stollard,
Aye.
James Stamey, Matthew Stedman, Annetta Streeter, Matthew Teal,
Aye.
Mariana Tilly, Susie Toro.
Hi.
Okay. Sorry, hold on. Allie Wardell, Michael Williams,
Aye.
Taisha Williams, Tyrone Williams, Jacob Womack, Natasha Young.
Aye.
That completes the roll. Call vote.
Thank you so much, Keith, for facilitating that. And a big round of applause and thank you to our DEI committee, especially the two Sarahs and Natasha for taking the lead on drafting this, and really to all of the delegates and members of the community who provided such thoughtful feedback. So congratulations and round of applause. Resolution 24-04 has passed.
We clapped already. You late, Katie.
I know, I'm sorry. I can't hear in the room unless it's microphoned. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Give me 2 seconds. Matt Banks, feel free to pull this resolution from the DEI committee Teams page and share it with the Chancellor following the meeting. All right, folks. Well, the good news is we've only got new business, which there is no new business, but I will open up the floor for discussion, and some announcements. And then we'll likely be getting out of here early with giving you around 30 minutes of your day back. So let me pull up my announcements here. Just a quick note, we've got the Vice Chancellor Representatives meeting. Next one is coming up January 9th, 2025. Matt will send out the Qualtrics a little later in December to get folks to sign up to attend and or submit questions. The next staff advisory committee to the Chancellor meeting is scheduled for February 13th, 2025. So staff members should have received a meeting invite for that. Okay, those are my announcements. Opening up the floor for any discussion.
Horses behind Davis Library between 12 to 2 today. Sure, horses.
Wow.
I'm sorry, did you say horses?
Yes, miniature horses, tiny ones.
Like a little Sebastian for Parks and Rec folks. Yes.
Oh.
Davis
Okay.
There's
in
a
the
whole
garden
song.
area.
I have some potentially new business, or it might be best suited for me to like attend like a DEI committee meeting. But I work in development, and with the policy change removing DEI language from campus, that has caused some concern. I had to attend an ACRID meeting, and I was giving them information on Give UNC, which is our Day of Giving event. And they asked me about funds that exist online that you could technically still make a gift to, that are associated with programs and departments and initiatives that no longer exist. And I've been asking around a bit, but there doesn't seem to be a clear and formal procedure for how the funds that are no longer going to be used will be dissolved, even I'm not even getting into the money side of it, like whether there is money in the bank for those funds that has nowhere to go now, just the ability to make a gift online. If you go to Give UNC's giving page, those funds are still up for the most case. And Acrid asked me what the plan is to get those funds removed or to communicate with folks that those funds are no longer active. And, that's something that makes a lot of sense to me, who works in development, but probably was not considered at the leadership level when this decision was made. So I was bringing that to you guys.
For that, Audrey.
For those of you who don't know, ACRID is the Alumni Committee on Racial and Ethnic Diversity through the Development Office. It is a volunteer group through our volunteer engagement.
I wouldn't know this for sure, but I would imagine that if any of the funds were for Project Uplift, which was a major initiative of the DEI office, it would be probably handled now through Student Affairs, who have taken over that program. And that's the only one that I'm aware of.
Keith, can you
Yeah,
come over for 2 minutes? Someone's at my door.
Audrey, thank you for this. We dealt with this individually as a business school because we had a DEI office and there was a fund online. And I can, yes, bring it to the DEI committee, but also if you have contacts at finance that we could loop in, there is a clear path forward of how to deal with that on the finance side. And it is not a dissolvement. It is really just changing of codes. So I would be happy to connect the people who did that for us at the business school to talk to the finance teams, either at your level or beyond. I don't know how main campus stuff works, but if you want to connect some folks, we can definitely have that conversation and get that moving, because a lot of those programs, as Adriani was saying, moved to another department or have transitioned in name, but not in efforts. And so that money would still be useful to those groups. So I think that's definitely something that we should pursue and make sure works both for the donors and for the school.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think probably a lot of folks on this call understand this is something that is far above my pay grade, but that falls back to me when I'm in like conversation with folks asking me about it. So I don't know how much power I have to move it along, but I would like to do all of my due diligence to like provide clarity for ACRID members, because it was a very valid question when they asked how they should direct people to make a gift online during Give UNC if there are funds there that like aren't correctly represented. So I will connect with you after this.
Thanks, Audrey. Thanks, Ella.
Not new business, but just want to wish you safe travels, Katie.
Thank you. And really safe travels to anybody traveling this holiday season.
Safe
Sorry,
travels
who
to
was that responded to Audrey? Sorry, I was answering my door, so I want to make sure. Oh, Sarah Green. Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Any other announcements, questions? Opening up the floor for also the It Takes a Village highlights and kudos. Any kudos for staff as we enter the holidays?
Was it Santa at the door?
It was not. I do have my Dear Santa, Please Bring Wine shirt on, and it did not pan out, so that was unfortunate.
Not super EF business, but if anyone is going to be on campus next week, the employee engagement team of the business school, which is me, is doing a employee appreciation week, and we're gonna watch Inside Out on Thursday. And so if you want to come and have hot cocoa and popcorn, we are advertising it as a community conversation, because that's what you have to do as an educational body to not pay royalties on a movie. So come for a conversation, but I can get you a free parking pass to the business school if you've got to be on campus anyway. It's it's noon to 2, and anyone's invited because definitely we won't have enough people for the amount of popcorn that we bought. So yeah, anybody's welcome.
University related, but if anybody would like to celebrate a traditional Jewish Christmas dinner, we are organizing at La Pan Bleu for Jingle, Jews, and Jazz, December 25th.
Sounds fun.
And Chinese food. I'll bring the fortune cookies. Tradition.
I want to give a kudos and a shout out to Tiffany and Keith in membership and engagement for all of their work the past couple of weeks, and also to Matt as well, really for pulling together the social. And again, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. I look forward to these, and it's always great connecting with you all in person. Hopefully the bagels and spreads were good. But yeah, thanks to them.
To make a motion that we adjourn?
I love hearing that. Do
Second.
I have a second?
I third.
All right. We'll do this by acclamation. Any opposed to adjourning today's meeting? All right, hearing none. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays to those who celebrate. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. We'll see everybody again in 2025, if not
Travel
before.
safe, Katie.
Thanks, everybody. Good luck to the blood drive next week.